Hey everybody, come sit for a spell. I am your hostess, the Blue-Eyed Priestess. Unfortunately, we did not have a Tarot Card Tuesday this week, but we are going to pull some tarot cards during this video. First, I want to say happy full moon to everyone. Today is a full moon in Aries. This month is special because this October we have 2 full moons. Today, the full moon is in Aries, the harvest moon, and at the end of the month, on October 31st, on Halloween, we will have the hunter's full moon in Taurus. So this happens like once every 19 years. So we are working with some intense energy. So let's make sure we make the best of it. Before I get into the cards, let's talk a little bit about today's energy. So Aries energy. When the moon is in Aries, it's a perfect time to shift the focus from others to ourselves. Now, last week, around the 22nd of September, the sun shifted into Libra. Shout out to all my Libra babies who are celebrating their birthdays now. So when the sun is in Libra, it's all about relationships and family and harmony and beauty and finding balance. But now as we shift into the moon in Aries, self-care and ourselves become a big theme. It's about taking charge, getting that to-do list done, expressing your individuality, being fearless to invent yourself, and using your anger to fuel some constructive change. Now remember, the full moon is all about releasing what is not serving you. So this is when the moon is at its fullest. The energy right now would be honoring yourself, self-promotion, innovation, leadership, releasing bad habits. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so it's known for its pioneering spirit, leadership, and originality. Its energy is associated with the warrior spirit, creativity, and getting things done. This particular full moon invites us to shift the focus on all the things that we do for others to making sure we are taking care of ourselves. During this full moon and during this time, today and tomorrow, we may feel ourselves heating up a little bit with unresolved emotional turmoil and maybe even being a little aggressive. Yes, road rage is a big theme right now. So now would be a good time to release feelings of anger and create healthier ways of moving forward. Aries is a taskmaster. This is an ideal time to take out those fall decorations, start planning your themed holiday parties, or begin a side hustle that you've always dreamt of. This is a time where you will have extra energy to push you forward in projects that you've been meaning to get done. It will really give you that extra oomph when you need to get things started, because getting started sometimes is the hardest part, right? This energy will help you to really get started on projects that are near and dear to your heart, so get to work. So as I said, Libra is about finding balance and honoring and celebrating our relationships and creating healthy boundaries. But this full moon will directly oppose that. That means that you should be shifting your thoughts on what others need to what you need in the personal pursuit of happiness. So here's a couple questions you could consider at this time. What are you doing for self-care? Do you have me time in your schedule? Is it possible for you to create an hour to take a bath or read a book or have a glass of wine? Do whatever you like to do to distress around this full moon. Do you have any ideas for a new business, a side hustle, or even innovative ideas on how to restructure your work life or even reorganize your closet? What are the projects that you've been thinking about that you really want to get done? Now, as we look into the shadow side of Aries, are you holding on to past resentments that need to be released? Are you still holding on to anger for things that happened weeks, months, or even years ago? Are you managing your anger constructively? Do you find yourself shouting or angering far more easily than you should? Those are things that you should think about. All right, that being said, let's take a look at these cards. Now, unfortunately, I've had some health challenges, so there will not be any Tarot Card Tuesdays for the month of October because I unfortunately have to undergo surgery. So that being said, the cards that you choose now will be from the 1st of the month to the 31st. These cards should be your theme from full moon until full moon. So think about if there's something specific that you want to ask about, and let's take a look at these cards. Card 1, 2, or 3. If you've picked card number 1 in the Animal Spirit deck, you have picked the Elk. So The cycle of power for the elk is in the autumn. So this is prime time for you, my friends. So the elk is one of the most regal animals of North America. It's known because it's powerful and it's strong. The elk is an animal of great strength, power, and stamina. It can run at a fast trotting pace for extended periods of time, and that's usually how it outruns its predators. It can sustain a strong pace for great lengths of time. So if you pick the elk, you're about to hit your stride. And there's also a lot of questions that come up when you do pull elk. So are you pacing yourself effectively? Which means, hey, now it's autumn. We're getting ready to do Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas. What is your pace? Are you deciding, hey, I'm going to take on all of the family for all of these holidays? Or are you kind of trotting along and not being engaged at all? It's really evaluating the pace at which you're going. What are your energy levels right now? Are they high and strong, or are they weak and tiring? So that's a big thing to question right now. The other thing is, are you trying for the quick and easy route or the long and steady route? So which is more important for you, short-term or long-term goals? That is something for you to be evaluating this month when you're making decisions. Hey, is this going to help me now, but maybe not help me later? And lastly, elk eat mostly grass and vegetation, and they don't migrate much. So anyone that has pulled the elk medicine will do well when they eat good. So to bring elk into balance, you should eat and drink more consciously, which is hard during this month because there's all the pumpkin treats and lots of candy. If you have picked the second card, then you have picked the Panther. So I like to read this card in two different ways. Number one, first I'm going to read it as the Black Panther, and then I'll get into some of the meanings of the Panther itself. The Black Panther has a great mysticism associated with it. It is the symbol of the feminine, of the dark mother, of the dark moon, and it's a symbol for life and power of the night, which has to do when we say the night, sometimes that also means the winter because it's a lot darker during the winter. It's a symbol of feminine energies and how they manifested on the earth. It's a symbol of darkness, of death, and the rebirth that comes out of it. A lot of times people hear death and they get very scared, but that's not at all what it means. So when you pull this Black Panther, it awakens your inner passions, and it has to do with reclaiming your power. It is time to take a stance for the things that you believe in. This month, focus on what is important to you. Again, that is echoing what this Aries full moon says. Know what is important to you. And that will move into the second part of the Panther, which is purging. Get rid of things that you no longer need. Sometimes things and people need to be purged. While we are getting ready to go into the winter months, everybody's going to be taking down decorations for different things. Get rid of things that you don't need or don't spark joy. When you are out of balance and you pull the Panther card, it means that you could be relying on self-destructive tendencies instead of reclaiming the power that you really need to harness. So to bring it back into balance, get rid of things that are not necessary and really follow your inner guidance. If you've pulled the last card, then you have pulled the Wolf. The wolf is the guardian of the family or the tribe, and the wolf is an activist. So if you've pulled the Wolf card today, your mission for the next 30 days, shall you accept it, is to uphold the well-being and longevity of the pack. So it's about expressing yourself through activism, mentorship, humanitarian efforts, or teaching. So let's bring that back on a smaller scale. And that might be just your family. That might be family time and you thinking about what family traditions you want to teach your children, or what family traditions you want to uphold this holiday season. Because it's really about our tribe and what's important to us. So the difficult part about wolf medicine is it can be very judgmental or critical of the way that others choose to lead their pack. So, not everybody in your family is going to decide to follow suit with what you think is the best. So that means that maybe you have children who don't want to do some of the same things you do, or maybe they're unconventional. So wolf medicine also tells us to be more accepting. Sometimes other people in our family might make us a little uncomfortable, or even people at our jobs or our neighbors. And it's really about practicing tolerance that helps us balance out our energy. Embrace all and exclude none. Wolves do not fight unnecessarily. In fact, they go out of their way to avoid it. Though they're extremely strong and powerful, disagreements rarely end in serious fights. So often at a glance, a posture or a growl is all that is necessary to determine dominance. They don't have to demonstrate it. So that is what wolf medicine teaches. You can develop strength and confidence, but you don't have to show that you are the boss. So to bring wolf into balance, practice letting go. That is what you should be thinking about for the next month, especially if others do not agree with what you agree with. And that can be very challenging in today's political climate. I definitely would have to practice that myself, but it's really about shifting your focus onto the things that you want to teach your own family and instill in your own tribe. Thank you everyone for tuning in today. I hope everybody has a magical October. I will see you guys all at the end of the month for the full moon in Taurus on Halloween.